What up? What up? What up? I feel like there are some LSU Tigers this summer that are very intriguing to me. First up, you've got to really look at the quarterback position and where it's going. Is it going to be, Jaden Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier, of course, Miles Brennan? The quarterback thing just keeps rolling around in my head. Daniels 1 year has nearly 3,000 yards as a freshman, 17 touchdowns, 2 picks, but then on the other hand, had 10 touchdowns and 10 receptions last year. But he'll have better weapons at LSU than Arizona State. However, I'm not sure if he's ready to unleash these players on the outside like Nussmeier or even Miles can. This summer, I think maybe Daniels will rise, but how far? His arm even more than his legs will dictate that direction, I think, with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, very intriguing prospect to me because it's just there's such a high ceiling, such a great potential, such untapped possibility. But his legs alone aren't going to win LSU football games. You need the complete package, and you need him to really be putting it all together. Will that happen in his first year transferring to LSU? I'm not so sure. Be very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts for LSU, but I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't either. And I'm very excited to see how Jamar Cain's young backup edge rushers will contribute. Um, Second year Savion Jones and Xavier Carter. Third year Philip Webb, who barely gets any mention. And freshman Quincy Wiggins backing up Ali Gay Ojo and BJ Ojolari. That could be a really unique, lengthy, athletic, savage, just brutal variety of profiles to choose from. The combinations are endless, really, with our front setups too. I mean, a few of these guys are comfortable playing the 2 or 3 technique on the front of a 3-4, just as much as a 4-3. Um, they're very, very dual type of edge rushers as well, able to come inside and attack as well. Savion Jones, Xavier Carter's got a lot of reps as a jack linebacker on the outside. It's a very deep position that I think has gone unnoticed as much as the DTs have kind of gotten that love, and that I feel like that defensive ends room is just loaded. Jack Besh I've talked a lot about, but when you look at the numbers, he forced 17 missed tackles last year. That was third in the entire SEC. And then he topped LSU's receiver room in receptions with 43, and he narrowly, just barely, ranked third in yards at 489. He even scored a touchdown on the road versus Alabama. He could have won that game had the passing been more accurate and had our offensive line given Max just a little bit more time as well. The passing, I mean, he was so open so many times, Jack. It's crazy. I feel like really just give him the ball and let him go to work. I think this could be a season where Jack Besh could really just go off, just like Kayshawn Booty. I think both Besh and Booty will unlock each other, in my opinion. I really feel like if that doesn't happen this season, this offense has failed greatly and really missed a big opportunity, just like Jake Peets did last year. But running back, John Emery Jr., Noah Kane, or Trey Bradford. Those are the three backs who I feel are vying for that number one and number one, two spot the most. Josh Williams is a great story. You can put him in there as well. I like how he runs the ball. But Kane has the most career yards, touchdowns, and carries. And he's played in the most games of anyone in LSU's running back room just upon his arrival this last weekend. But, when you look at John Emery, he still has that take it to the limit talent, and you have to see it in full flight. You have to find out about John Emery because I think he really can be that fantastic all-in-one running back. Trey Bradford has fought hard throughout spring, and he surprised so many, including myself, by climbing high on the depth chart and finishing off his great spring by, busting a few 30-plus yard runs in that spring game, and Brian Kelly was predicting it and really talking him up. And, whoever's going to win that running back position is going to have to be the toughest one of them because it's going to be vicious. I feel like it's going to be, you got to strap that chin on, strap the chin strap on for this fall camp. It's going to be vicious for these spots. Offensive line. I mean, where does everyone fall in this offensive line? Does freshman Will Campbell keep his spot at left tackle? Or is it really going to a veteran presence, anyone from Cam Wire or even Anthony Bradford moving over from guard to left tackle, or Garrett Dellinger moving from right tackle to left tackle, or Charles Turner, from center to left tackle. Xavier Hill even played left tackle for a few games, started at left tackle last year. Will the guard battles get really intense between, Xavier Scooter Hill, Cardell Thomas, Tremont Shorts, another transfer that Kelly picked up, and of course, Marlon Martinez, who impressed so much last year. And then you got Anthony Bradford coming back from injury as well. And if he stays home in his usual role at guard, you've got a lot of options there. But then you got Garrett Dellinger, who was just an all SEC talent last year, playing through a torn labrum for some of these games. And he was essential for LSU and really has a big future for the Tigers, in my opinion. It's just where's he going to end up on the offensive line? Where's his consistent home? That's what's going to be interesting to me. Charles Turner looks to be the center. I mean, you got Fitz West behind him, and even Emory Jones could move from tackle to center. You got Xavier Hills played some center, but really, for all intents and purposes, Charles Turner's that center. There's a lot of interchanging that's possible along the offensive line. I know a lot of people thought I'm crazy for suggesting that, but that's just, especially after the last 2 years when some of these guys had to play many different spots on the offensive line. I think, Marcus Dumervil and Dellinger could be just battling for that starting right tackle spot. I think maybe like Dumerville's maybe just a fixed right tackle guy, but then Dellinger, yeah, say maybe he's not the starting right tackle, but he could start in a few other different spots on the offensive line just as well. The transfer corners is such an important area of the field for me because LSU completely bolstered our corner room, replaced our complete corner room with transfers and freshmen. LT Welch, and you got Demarius McGee from last year, who's now in his second year. Jordan Tolles moving from safety to corner. Maybe that was just a temporary thing. But the transfer corners are important as hell to me. Mekhi Garner, Jarek Bernard Converse, who got hurt very quickly, should be back soon. Greg Brooks Jr. at nickel. Sevin Banks just came over from Ohio State. And then you got the transfer walk-on from Georgia, Deron Branch, who just arrived last week. What is the one thing 4 of 5 new DBs of DBU share? What is the one thing that 4 out of 5 of those guys share that I just listed? They're from the state of Louisiana, and either they didn't receive an opportunity before, whatever the case was, but you can clearly tell they're loving being back home, and I expect there to be quite the competition at corner for those spots. Those are just some of my thoughts heading into this spring. I mean, sorry, into this summer and its craziness after we solved some questions with the spring game, solved some questions with spring practices, but it seems like all of these key battles are going to be decided in summer. And this is just part two of our summer preview at LSUODYSSEY.com. Check out part one of our summer preview as well on the site. And thank you very much, everybody. Have a good one.